Hi guys! Welcome today to some holiday special treats. This is Pop's eggnog. My husband and I have kind of taken his recipe and tweaked it over the years, and this is actually a double recipe for what the one in the book makes for my Pop, but it fits in a whole gallon jug. So first off, we got the 6 eggs, and they're raw. They go straight in to get whisked. So you're cracking 6 eggs first. Takes a lot of egg, and yes, eggnog has egg in it. At least ours does. And then the other things you're gonna need are some whole milk, a half a gallon. We got spiced rum here. You can use dark rum. We got spiced rum, whiskey, and brandy. We also add a little vanilla to ours, and we have whipping cream that we add in, and sugar, and then nutmeg also. All those ingredients were on that past screen. You can roll it back and pause it to write that down, or I'll add it into the description below. But here is my helper. He always likes to make this. Now, it was my grandfather's recipe, and my husband is usually the one that makes it for our house every Christmas season. So he's whisking up those eggs real good, and next he'll be adding in that sugar, which is about a cup for this recipe that we're doing here. A cup and a little extra of sugar, just granulated white sugar. And he's gonna whisk that in really good too into the egg before we mix anything else in. So sweet and boozy, that's what this eggnog recipe is. So yeah, he'll mix that sugar in really good in with the egg to help it just get dissolved, and then he's going to start pouring in that whole milk, and it's half a gallon there. Just whisking it in, the egg, the milk, and the sugar. We love to have this at all of our holiday get-togethers, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. We even take it for New Year's Eve and after, and everybody really always enjoys it. It goes really good with my Graham's sugar cookie recipe, which are kind of like a crunchier, hard sugar cookie, so you can dunk it in there, and it just tastes really good with this eggnog. I might be doing one of those bake with me soon. Here we are. He's going to add in the liquor, and like I said, my Pop used dark rum. We're using spiced rum mostly for money purposes. Spiced rum is a little bit cheaper, and for this measurement it is about 2 cups, give or take, of the spiced rum that he's going to pour out here and add in. Spiced rum, like, I could never drink this on its own. I am not a spirits kind of gal, but I love this eggnog. Alright, so here again we got the 2 cups. He's going to be whisking that in of the rum. I just always imagine my grandfather making this, but he didn't make such a big batch. He made a lot smaller of a batch. And I have his recipe, you can see in the book there, which we reference often, even though we've tweaked it to our liking. So he's just keeping it moving when you're adding in that whiskey there, because if you just pour it in, it's not going to blend on its own. You really got to whisk it into the milk, egg, and sugar mixture there. More whisking. And he adds in a little bit of the heavy cream here, just to make it a little bit more creamy. Usually when I make it, which is rare, usually he does, I add that at the end, and I use like my immersion blender, because that's how you would thicken it more. But he wanted it to be a little bit creamy in between, so he adds it in between the liquor here. And next is the whiskey, and we like to do a little bit of less whiskey. So we did the 2 cups of the rum. Now we're going to do a cup of the whiskey, because whiskey's probably powerful, one of the 3 here. And then he's going to pour both the whiskey and the brandy in that at the same time here. So it's a cup of whiskey and a cup and a half of brandy. So he's going to put, it'll be what, 2.5 cups total in that measuring cup to pour into the rest of our eggnog mixture. Yeah, here's where he decided he's just gonna pour it all in at the same time. Love it. This weekend we'll be going to make cookies at my mom's house, and we usually take a batch of this to enjoy while we're all working and making the cookies. It's just as good before Christmas as it is on Christmas Day. And we really like to let this sit in the fridge because it just gets better as it sits. It kind of, I don't know, mellows or like absorbs into each other. I don't know. Gets stronger maybe, but it definitely gets better after it like sits and marinades all together, the egg and the milk and the booze in the fridge for a couple weeks. It lasts a while because that's a lot of alcohol in there to preserve it up. So you just gotta mix it all together, whisking it up. And it looks like he's gonna add a little bit more cream here. Again, like I said, I really like to add in the heavy whipping cream at the end or like when you're about to drink it. So if you wanted to put this in a punch bowl at a party, you pour it out and then add in that heavy cream and use the immersion blender, and that makes like a whipped cream froth on the top, which is really awesome. Or you could just buy a can of whipped cream and add it to your eggnog if you're feeling fancy. And here, this vanilla actually isn't in my grandfather's original recipe, but Andy likes to add a little tablespoon or so of vanilla to this mixture as well.
Whiskey business.
There's that whisking action. And nutmeg, we usually put it to garnish, so when we pour it into the glass, we put a little nutmeg sprinkle on top. Andy also likes to add a little bit into the jug so it has a little essence of nutmeg in there. And definitely when you are putting this into the jug, use a funnel. I don't care if my bowl has a spout. Use a funnel, and you can see here he's even ladling it in most of the way before we try and pour it into the funnel, because that's just a lot of liquid to get into that small spout of that gallon jug. Which I actually made some cute glass gallon jugs for my mom and her siblings that say Dad's Nog on them, because this was their dad's recipe, which is pretty cool. But we usually just use the milk gallons that we have. Here we are tasting. It's delicious. Please subscribe, guys.